Da-da-da. Watch spot. Hello there, I'm Kamurai, and we're here to talk about things I've watched this week, or shows that are going on, or rather that we can watch with the power of the internet. We do TV and movies here. I'm trying to figure out which one is the right way to go first because there is a lot less TV. So let's talk about that first, and I can segue into movies a little bit easier. Oh yeah, Big Bang Theory. I was forgetting about CBS because they're the only thing that I don't watch like on Hulu because they've got their own thing. They've got their own app now, but I quit their service because I watch my PC. I don't watch mobile, which is what that service is really for. I think you get access to some of the older stuff, but I got done watching the older stuff, so I stopped paying for it, I guess. It's a great service. I want more things out of it, but I want it to be more affordable. Like $1 to like $3 a month to get what I'm using now. Maybe $1 per show even. Like I'd be happy with. I'd be fine with that. And I'd be happy to support them if I really want to watch it that badly. It's not that big a deal, but I'm super happy that someone's trying something and they're seeing if it works. So yay. But Big Bang Theory's gone downhill for quite some time now. I think once they realized that they were getting successful, they got a little bit lazy with it, and it's just not been as good. The show has changed. The focus of the show has changed significantly. It used to be like, oh, look at these nerdy guys you can relate to trying to deal with the world and the villainy thereof, blah. And now we went through that whole period where we kind of rotated through our characters about who the antagonist was, and it's turned into the guys kind of being the antagonist, with the girls being the kind of heroes, which they're closer to normies a lot of the time. And I don't mean to empower the girls, and certainly don't want them to be antagonists, but the way the show's been working, it's just kind of weird. I don't know what to say about it, but Sheldon's still trying to deal with switching over to dark matter, whatever, and I'm honestly having trouble remembering what happened on it. It just wasn't very impactful. I think that was what I took away from it. Sheldon has lost the novelty of being Sheldon, and while it's funny to watch him get sleep deprived and watch Penny and Leonard like try to deal with him like he's a big baby, and I know there's other things. I want to say that was the one with Scarlet or Cinnamon, whatever her name was, Jasmine or Cinnamon. I can't remember her name. Which is actually kind of a funny game, which would be a funny game for the audience to play, but like in the show is a little bit too on the nose. I don't know. Like, I think it's fine to make fun of him for the dog. Like, yeah, sure, why not? But to do it so that like it would have been better if they had done it fourth wall. I don't know. It's not the way I would have gone. Mom, like they're still dealing with Albert dying. Spoilers. I'm wanting to see what they do with that because I really liked him as a character, and I thought they were playing it pretty close to the line, and they crossed it because they don't have enough dilemmas in that show to deal with. And I really want to see them progress and get better. And I'm not sure what this strategy like does to improve them. I want to see along with them on the journey of self-improvement. That's what I want to see. I don't remember if I checked in the Millers or not. Two Brick Girls, I've not checked in on. I probably need to look at them and see what's up. I was struggling the past few days to find something to watch. It's like, oh, this is like Gallivant and all these other shows just ended, and hell, it's not a super saturated market. And then like Wednesday hit, and like 3 or 4 of my shows all popped up. I want to say it was like Supernatural, Flash, Arrow, which is those 2 shows should be coming out on the same day. I realized that may be important. You stagger them. design it that way, design the cameos that way, would be better. Agent Carter, Flash, Supernatural, Arrow did not come out. So, I'm just being silly there. Okay, so let's get on with this. The 100, I'm really excited to actually see them do something, actually take on the compound. They came up with this bullshit idea to get Finn? No, not Finn. Finn's the one that died. The boy leader, man-child thing into the compound, and they did it in the dumbest way possible because these are spacefarers. They don't understand what chemical addiction is. They put Lincoln right back into the red, and they may not be able to save him a second time. I don't know if that'll take, especially if he knows how to avoid losing the red. The best method for this sort of thing is prevention. Like, just make it not available. But I'm really excited to see about whether it happened, and I'm hoping that they don't just build up to it for 5 more episodes before season finale. I want it now. Arrow, they've done the Canary so poorly throughout the whole thing. I really wish at one point they hadn't rebooted, but they had just been like, okay, well, here's what's canon now, and they reveal that, like, Sarah's mother, Dinah Lance, was once a vigilante, and that's how they actually met. Like, they were, her husband and her were like on vacation or something in the same place. They met, and that's what it was. And she's lived her life like that. And then Sarah found out, but went with the League of Assassins, and then that way Laurel could actually step into it. And it turns out that she has the same genetic blah 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 that her mother does, and then she turns out to be the true Canary. That's how you do that if you wanted Laurel to become Black Canary all along. Very disappointed. I wanted a good Black Canary. The Huntress is a little crazy in the comic books anyways, but I wanted a Huntress that wasn't certifiable, and certainly not one that was locked up. She's got to get out eventually and become a proper character. She's very, very forced mechanic. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Let's see. Christella, hypertension. Oh yeah, it's all about like trying to get healthier. Like Danielle's trying to get Christella healthier because she doesn't look like Daniela does, which is bullshit. Be happy with who you are. If you're happy with who you are, don't be afraid to be happy with who you are. But always look to better yourself anyways. And with Christella's schedule, yeah, whatever. She does what she can when she can. She doesn't have time to do shit. But weird boy nonsense. We continue that as a theme in places. But no, it makes a very. It's an episode's main point. I think is actually that it's very clear that she doesn't need a man. She can do what she needs to do to have what she needs to do. She doesn't need to conform to societal expectations in that manner. Oh yeah, Grimm. I can't. Way too close to Supernatural's Ghost Facers. Yeah, it was kind of a twist to like kill one off right away, but yeah, I don't care if I'm spoiling. This vest is electric. They liken to electric eels, which, if you note, aren't actually electric. They have bioelectric shocks that do not work like that, and they aren't eels. They're fish. They're night fish. And it's all foo hockey. I don't know. I didn't really feel like that did a lot for us. We were seeing that get a little bit more out of control. Renard trying to rein her in, and I'm hoping that goes somewhere soon, because that's the interesting storyline right now, is those two, especially since Renard's wounds are opening back up and disappearing, so I'm assuming his mother has been hurt and she's in mortal danger because her magic is waning. Glee, The Hurt Locker 2. I'm really glad that I'm back into Glee. I'm kind of upset that Melissa Benoist is not active in this season. I don't know what happened. But she's not around right now. And a lot of the original crew is back and around except for the dead guy. Plus a couple new faces. I think it's about 4 or 5 of them. The cheerleader that we've had before, Kitty, a new quarterback. They call him a fat kid, but he's not that fat. He's a big guy, but he's not fat. Not to me, not in my head, anyways. And then the twins. I don't know what's going on with that. Female twins cute. They need to use them and get more members and get rid of this original cast. It's time for them to go. Honestly, them being facilitators and faculty members, yeah, fine. But let's move on. All right. God, I just can't get rid of it. Let's see. Castle. This was a super interesting episode. Now, I always give Castle respect as a show. And it's like that and Game of Thrones. Like, when it's on, it's like, that's pretty much what I'm doing. Usually I'm doing other stuff. But Castle is, this is one for sure. This is one that was too extreme. Even Castle was too close to begin with. And then he started getting a little goofy when he couldn't piece things together. He started going off the deep end, which is funny because he was right to an extent for the case. So I don't know what they were trying to do with that. But so, like, spoilers. The whole thing was that, like, the girl that was his friend uses him to fake her death and then gets killed for real, and then the husband gets bumped off. And the whole thing is set up for a plausible deniability standpoint from, like, the damn lawyer. Like, that is super intricate, and that is super great, and it's so neat to see them go through a really complicated case that didn't just involve craziness over and over and over. Or personal injury. It's just a case. And then them closing it and then reopening it all of a sudden repeatedly was kind of neat. Because normally you wouldn't have that sort of thing. So it was just really refreshing, really nice. It's an example of why I like Castle as a show. And not only is Nathan Fillion still naturally hilarious, but we get to see everybody else in action and really up on their game as well. New Girl, I watched this today. Swoot. I'm really kind of surprised this isn't a thing that I've heard of before. It's a suit made out of sweatpant material. Totally think that should be a thing if it's not. I don't know if I wear it or not, but I want to know that it exists in the world. And, like, with the whole thing, it's such a great idea that not that somebody wanted to make it, but somebody else was making something similar, so they got paid off to sink it. Yeah, that's the American dream right there. It's like you got paid thousands and thousands of dollars to not work. Last thing with TV, the second last thing really, episodes. I got another disc of episodes. I think we're on season 3. Is that correct? Let's see. Season 3. Fantastic show. I love Matt LeBlanc in this. So funny. The British people are all right too. If you've seen Ringling, I think, and Not Going Out, there's like one more. I can't remember what it is, but they're some of the same people from those, and totally worth to check out all those and this. And it's funny because the centering is kind of like the who slept with who thing, plus the turnover at the company, and that's all I'll say about that, because it is good enough that I don't want to spoil it, not because she'll be surprised when it happens, but because there's a certain bit of atmosphere when you're watching the show It set things up. It sets things up certain ways. It executes them certain ways that like really matter. And if you know it's coming, it may offset it for you because I haven't gone back and watched this. Ancient Aliens, I'm still kind of watching every now and again to fall asleep. Great. One of the things that's happened when I was struggling, like I had periods where like I didn't want to sit down and watch a whole movie, but I needed to kill a little bit of time or maybe have something in the background. So I started listening to comedians again. I started with Eliza Schlesinger, Freezing Hot. Super funny. She's super animated. And I'll be honest, like when you're attracted to females, like you look like, oh, she's attractive. Never seen an attractive woman do weirder things with her body for comedy. It's just kind of she's at one point like she's doing raptor stuff, like pretending to be a dinosaur, and it's all super awkward. And it's not her responsibility to be sexy on stage or anything. She was doing it for the comedy, and that was the point of it. But it's just an interesting thought I had at the time. But very funny. Definitely one you should check out if you like watching stand-up comedians or listening to stand-up comedians. Let's see. Ben Oswald, tragedy plus comedy equals time, which bothers me because if you look at it as a formula, that means time over comedy. I'm sorry, time minus comedy equals tragedy. Oh, I get it. I was thinking it was divisions for some reason. So comedy, time minus comedy equals tragedy because time is made up as comedy and strategies. Yeah, it's very actually Shakespearean. But very funny. It's good stuff. He's kind of lost some of the energy in his rants, which is fine. He's much older looking now, which is fine. He's not a big deal. He's still looking. He's looking pretty good for Pat. If you've seen on Marvel Agents of Shield, he looks like that, but slightly more distinguished because they try to make him look a little bit younger. I think on Marvel Agents of Shield. But he doesn't need to look more in shape. He doesn't need to look younger. I wish he had a little bit more energy for what he used to have. But hey. Then Todd Glass stand-up special. Todd Glass is good stuff. I can't remember any particular routines or anything that he does. That stand out to me, honestly. But he's pretty good stuff, and I think anything I've heard of his, I pretty much like. He just gets some very angry rant stuff occasionally. So if that's not your thing, then that's not your thing. All right, let's get on to movies. Fuck it. Let's see. I've got Donner Pass on here. One of those group of kids go up to a cabin in the woods type thing, and stuff happens to them. So it turns out there's a legend of like people eating people for power, eternal life, whatever. So that the guy shows up, or whatever you want to call it, and they start having to deal with that, and like you're picking off people one by one, and there's a plot twist or two, and it turns out this is not a spoiler. This is kind of set up in the beginning of the movie. If you feed, like you get turned a certain way, like it's like reverse zombieism. Like if you're the biter gets turned, whereas the person that gets big gets big. Actually, a pretty good movie. I don't want to spoil too much for it. I don't want to mention things. It's not going to be like a sexy movie. There's a couple times where like things show up and you're like, oh, it's going to be like this. Now, it's really not going to be a sexy movie. It's full of idiot kids, and once you get past them at being idiot kids, you can enjoy them dying. It's like, oh yeah, these are worthless characters. Let's get rid of them. Okay, so moving on. Jodi Arias, Dirty Little Secret. Fantastic movie. I'm going to open this up so I can try to get the actress's name because I can never remember. I've tried 3 times this week. I don't like when they do that. Really? All right, we're at IMDb. She did such a good job. The guy did an okay job, but she's the one that really sold it. It's all about a real life story for Jodi Arias. Adrius? I can't remember. Jodi Arias, probably. She fell in love with this Mormon motivational speaker. And she was not Mormon, but she was willing to take it in all three holes, apparently. So she became a thing. It was a TV movie. It was never released, apparently. 2013. And the actress's name is Tanya Ramondi. Tanya. So not Tanya, but Tanya Ramondi. I've seen her in other things. I'm trying to pull her account now, so I know. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Wild Cherry, Elsewhere. Switched at Birth. She was on Switched at Birth. On Lost, apparently. So she's done a thing or two. And once you see her, it'll be one of those faces. Oh, she looks familiar, but I'm not really sure. That's fine. What was I saying? Really good movie. Just it gets a little slow. You're like, what's happening at this? And then you remember that, oh yeah, this is all about a movie where someone murdered, or a real life occurrence where somebody got murdered. So you keep that in the back of your head. The slow parts will look more meaningful, and honestly, you'll get by it pretty okay. Let's see. What was the other one there? Yeah. Iceman. I tried to watch Iceman, but it's a foreign movie. I think it's Chinese. It's very Crash the Tiger Hidden Dragon with lots of harness flips and stuff. Was like, no, can't do it. So I got out of there. The other one I didn't actually watch. I don't know why it's on there. So that brings us to my first attendance at Bad Movie Night with a group of friends. And quite honestly, I don't know if I'm going to do this, but I will report back every time I do it. We started with Trolls 2, one of the most infamously bad movies ever. Had nothing to do with Trolls, had nothing to do with like the movie Trolls is what I meant, but it had no trolls in the movie. It had goblins. The directors are fucking, or whoever it was is a fucking idiot. Honestly, shortest credits I've ever seen in a movie, an official movie. It was really, like, I swear to God, if Kind of Funny or DeFranco or Vlogbrothers put out a movie, it would have the longer credits because they're professionals that know what the fuck to do. Oh my God, it's just horrible, horrible movie. Technically, it's horrible. It looks bad. It looks like I could film it, honestly, if I recreated everything. The audio, in particular, is horrible. I don't know what happens, but it's dampened at times. It's got very clear cuts when they stop speaking, or when the line's over, rather. And it goes to like another set of lines. Eventually, that goes away. You stop hearing it. But the awful, awful writing does not go away at all. So they're delivering these horrible lines because they were directed to do so. Somebody there had seen behind-the-scene footage and such. So, like, the teenage girl in particular has really bad lines, and it's very formal, and I must do this and must do that, and like, what have we here, and not like whatever, and like it's apparently the actress got reprimanded at some point for trying to be a natural teenager, and I have no idea why the director did not listen to the teenage girl in front of him. Dick. Yeah, just the horrible masks on the goblins, horrible costumes for the goblins, positioning was bad. There were several times where like the world just didn't make sense. Not that they were making people into Soylent Green and eating them. It was that like the barbell like that she threw across the room and made a huge noise. Not only didn't wake her parents up, but ended up behind her on the rack again. It has one of those endings where it just stops. It's not. It doesn't end the movie. It just stops. I hate. That was my big pet peeves there with the movie, because that's something that still happens nowadays. I can't believe that people do that with their movies. Why just stop it? Either give me a epilogue with some proper exposition, or take care of it and end it properly. Do some cinematic stuff to take care of your shitty product. So it was so horrible that I was like, okay, we need a palate cleanser. And so we actually ended up installing YouTube on my buddy's PS3. And we watched the first episode of Forgotten Realms, and we tried to watch some stuff that didn't happen, and then we watched some stuff that really wasn't as good as we all thought it was. I think it may have been we were all tired. I was tired. But I ran home where I am now telling you things. But I think that's pretty much it for the week. I've already got a good couple of shows to watch and report back on next week. Yeah. So have a nice day. I am Kamurai.